there's something unique about your theater. You're appearing at the American Place Theater.
Yes, it's several unique things, you know, about it. The kind of theater it is, the building itself. It's the first theater that has been opened in New York. Well, it's the first theater built in New York for almost 50 years. It's the first theater in New York that's been opened, which is built into, as a part of, a skyscraper, an office building. It's a kind of the first time that there's a kind of a connection between government, business, and the arts. The theater itself, it's called American Place Theater, is a non-profit type organization, been in existence 8 years, been quite successful in presenting they present the new plays by American authors, a lot of them quite young. The man who wrote the play I'm in is 29 years old, named Steve Tessich from Colorado. And it's a way of encouraging the development of writing talent in the theater. The theater itself is terrific. It's almost like a college theater. The auditorium itself is, you can put on anything in there, including a circus. We're working on a thrust stage. That is, the stage sticks way out in the audience, and they're kind of around three sides of us. They're going to have a kind of a satirical cabaret thing on one floor there after the shows when they get to that fixed. The theater is like 3 stories below the street. They have a big rehearsal area, which is uncommon in most New York theaters. They have a shop for building scenery. It's quite a self-contained unit.
I've never seen it. I'd like to get over there and
just opened, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. It's funny when you said it's almost like a college theater. People think that Broadway must have the most glamorous, luxurious, perfect theaters. And you go out of town and immediately go to college or even a small college, and they have a much better theater than probably half of the Broadway theaters, or maybe most of the Broadway theaters, even though they've redone some of them.
I think some of the Broadway theaters, the older ones, are much prettier in there. You know, I love that design, that Rococo thing, but these are very functional and they have marvelous equipment.
Yeah. You know, I know you don't like to talk only about Mark Twain, but there's something so uncanny. I think you're just possessed when you do Twain. I mean, there's no way you can imagine how great that is, the effect on somebody else. And I wonder, does he creep into any of your other work?
Well, I try very hard, and I have tried to keep him out. Now, for example...
Does he ever sneak in, though, with his fly open or not?
He can sneak in easy. This part I'm doing now, I have a cigar for 2 of the 3 acts.
Well, that was his trademark.
Well, right away, you know, that's a problem.
So how do you smoke this in
Well, I try to hold it different.
Yeah.
And also, there's a lot of, the first part of this play is very funny. There's a lot of almost burlesque kind of vaudeville sketch kind of jokes and things in it. This guy is really angry about where he is. He thinks it's terrible. And so the timing, you know, my sense of timing, you know, I have to watch that it's not too similar to the Twain timing.
Must be odd to be fighting somebody else that you've already played.
Yeah. But once you get into the character that you're playing, once you get down into who the person really is in relation to yourself, and just play that, why you don't do things that you do in another character very easily.
Acting is so mysterious. I don't think anybody really knows
it's very mysterious.
How it works.
It's terrible.
Were you depressed when the bold ones went off? You know, I got mail from people saying, "Can't you do something to keep this on the air?"
You
we
did?
didn't write to. I don't know what they thought I was going to do.
Well, the bold ones didn't go off.
No, I mean
just our senators.
Your aspect of it.
Yes, I was depressed. It's funny, when I did this series, you know, made a deal to do the series, I was kind of hoping it'd run 1 year because I really didn't want to do a series. The main thing I wanted to do was to do. First, I liked the idea very much, and I thought we could deal with some things that are not normally dealt with on entertainment-type television.
You realize you just did one of the senator's gestures?
I did?
You just did that sort of thing with your pocket.
Well, that's funny, but that's a personal gesture.
Oh, is it?
But I used it, purposefully
used it.
I used it a number of times. It reminded me of somebody, and that was the only gesture that I purposefully used in the senator, was that touching the pockets. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I hoped it would only run a year because I didn't want to stay on for 3 or 4 or 5 years. I mean, I wanted to do other things. But I got so involved in it that, and in the thought of what we could do the next year after kind of finding out how to do the show, and proving that we weren't going to totally frightened the network out of its mind with the things we did,
yeah.
that I was very sorry to see it go, and particularly sorry because of the kinds of people that watched it. I don't think that the people in charge of television, you know, they're in big cities here or Los Angeles, they don't understand, in my opinion, what the audience is really like. Like, you wouldn't think that our kind of show would draw the kinds of people who have come up to me in the past year and a half. I mean, everything from Chicano, you know, Mexican Americans, all kinds of, from every walk of life, not just university-trained people, or not at all. I mean, the guys building the building I'm in, we just opened it. I mean, they were still building it. You know, they'd stop me, talk to me, and then they'd try to play football with it, give me a long pass one day, and I dropped it, you know. I felt very bad.
They still liked you, though, did they?
Yeah, I guess.
Do you know why you check your pockets, Hal, all the time?
It's
I know what it is.
It's a nervous gesture.
I know
it's
it's
a gesture
the
from
Twain
insecurity.
thing. You want to check your fly, but you can't do that on stage, so you check your pockets. I'm sure. I'm very shrewd at these things. Our local stations have a message. We'll be right back.